You think this is funny?
In a cosmic sort of way, yes.
Well, Mr. Funny Man, is this how you get your sick kicks?
What? It's just an ordinary crabby... Oh my goodness!
Wow, what an insane episode. So for the 4th episode of Gushing Over Magical Girls, we get some insane shots as we further see Utena fall into total degeneracy. The episode wastes no time to be horny. It starts off with Trace Magia moaning and panting as they are covered with a gooey monster. Leopard and Baser are admiring their work before they decide to make their escape. Trace Magia is starting to get annoyed at the routine escapes that Enormita makes. Especially Azure, who is left unsatisfied, and Sulfur, who is left annoyed that she didn't get a chance to fight much. While the camera zooms in on Magenta, who seems to be thinking deeply about something. This episode, we see that Utena's grades are falling as a result of her being distracted all the time. As she's heading home, she notices that Magenta is in her neighborhood, promoting heroism to a bunch of middle schoolers. Can I just say this right now? Was the animation this episode off to anyone else this time around? No? Just me? Okay then, Magenta seems to have posted signs up, taunting Baser, and trying to provoke her in order for her to come out. Utena tries to run, but Venelita tells her to fight. Utena wants to go home and study so her mom doesn't take away her Trace Magia figurines. But Venelita says she isn't going to be able to focus on studying anyway because she'll be too busy reading porno magazines, so she might as well fight Magenta here. Utena transforms into Baser and spanks a bunch of scissors. The scissors cut up Magenta's outfit and leaves her completely exposed. Magenta is too embarrassed to fight Baser after this, and Baser takes the opportunity to run after she gets an eyeful of the bare-naked Magenta. Venelita once again tells Utena to go fight Magenta, even though she wants to focus on her studies, but they both know that she won't be able to focus because she's becoming hornier and hornier. This epic stare-down seems to have been inspired by every shonen anime ever made. After Magenta challenges Baser, she once again cuts up her outfit with scissors. But unbeknownst to Baser, Magenta came prepared this time. I don't think I can show this on YouTube, but she's fully nude, but has heart-shaped stickers covering the naughty bits of her body. If you didn't like Magenta before, I bet you like her now. And Baser seems to agree since she gets a nosebleed from this. Baser gets caught off guard. Magenta tries to act tough, but she really is embarrassed that everyone is looking at her like this. It's honestly more embarrassing than being nude. Then an epic duel between naked Magenta and Baser ensues. I swear the animation seems to be a bit off this episode. Oh well, what can you do? The fight ends with Baser having a nosebleed, and the screen cuts to black. Magenta then is awoken by her two teammates. Azure wants all the naughty details of what Baser did to her. The remainder of the episode focuses on Trace Magia, and more specifically, Sulfur, whose real name is Tenkawa. Tenkawa seems to be the rude and brash one of the trio. She has the appearance of a girly girl, but the attitude of a sukaban, which is hot as fuck. Tenkawa still isn't satisfied with her last encounter with the girls. She has a particular hate boner towards Leopard.
あんたはんみたく頭にも胸にも団子ぶら下げとるよりマシやわ。
By the way, I may have forgot to mention this before, but none of the girls recognize each other in their magical girl forms. Anime logic. Trace Magia get called to do a photoshoot promotion later on. Sulfur seems to hate doing it unlike the other two. In this episode, we get the debut of a white cat. Apparently it's not a rabbit. Obviously, this one is the opposite of Venelita. I guess we can assume that it gave Trace Magia their powers. Its name is Vats? Huh, okay. Sulfur complains to Vats that she doesn't like doing all of this extra shit, and just wants to fight bad guys. Vats explains that maintaining a strong social media presence is a good way to counter Enormita. It also mentions that one day, it hopes that Venelita will come back to them, implying that Venelita went rogue. Suddenly, another fight begins with Enormita and Trace Magia. Leopard not knowing that Tenkawa is Sulfur, and Sulfur not knowing that Hina is Leopard, the two seem to hate each other no matter what situation they're in. Sulfur antagonizes the two of them for always escaping and not finishing the job. Sulfur uses her strongest ability, which summons giant arms like Newt from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Her power grows exceptionally, and she easily resists Leopard and Bazer's combo attack. Sulfur is finally starting to have fun after kicking both their asses. And it seems like that attack ripped Bazer's clothes off. This must be the first time she's been stripped herself, huh? But uh-oh, Bazer's getting turned on. Sulfur acknowledges Bazer's desire to fight, but actually, she misunderstands. Bazer actually is excited to break Sulfur, especially since she's the one who she still hasn't properly dominated. All of the magical girls continue fighting through some B-roll footage, though Azure gets captured easily again. She's too far gone. At this point, she may be worse than Darkness from Konosuba. And that's the episode. Honestly, there wasn't too much perversion as before, aside from the stuff that happened with Magenta and a few panty shots, but it still definitely was a based episode regardless. I can't wait for episode 5. Anyway, see you next time, guys. Stay hydrated, keep being based, and always keep your hands above your cover, you pervert.